Despite being in the midst of a nor'easter, the Union City Board of Commissioners held their bi-weekly meeting Wednesday evening at the Hudson School, located at 167 19th Street. Mayor Brian Stack got into a war of words with North Bergen resident Eric Dixon when Dixon asked how the city planned to phase out receiving transitional aid from the state.
My question is on the issue of transitional aid. The past 2 fiscal years, there's been transitional aid coming from the state of about 13 and then 12 million, and I guess 10 million is estimated or at least applied for in fiscal year 2013. My question is whether, when you've got a $100 million budget, you seem to have a structural deficit, and I wanted to ask what the long-term proposition is by the board for addressing what seems to be a 12% annual deficit that's been running for several years.
What we've been doing is reducing the number of employees that are non-essential employees, making cuts wherever we possibly can. And that's how we hope to one day transition off. But we don't enjoy what North Bergen enjoys, the town that you come from, that we have massive development, that we're chopping the Palisades, that we're overdeveloping Tunnelly Avenue without a traffic plan, or West Side Avenue without a traffic plan.
Excuse me, sir.
Sir, you have to
I'm a private citizen.
Sir, that's fine. Sir,
I'm
I'm answering to the best of my ability. Okay?
But you're not answering the question.
Sir, you have to wait for the final answer.
Sir, you have to finish. That's one thing.
Sir, you asked me a question, I'm responding. You have to, I let you finish. Let me finish.
I'm sorry.
Whether you like my answer or not, it's just, I'm sorry.
Oh, no,
So we don't have the development that other towns have, and that's why we've always had a deficit in Union City, going back to when Mayor Musto was the mayor, when Robert Menendez was the mayor, Bruce Walter was the mayor, Arthur Likett was the mayor, Rudy Garcia was the mayor. We've always had that. We hope to reduce that in the future. I'd love to see the day that we don't have to apply for any municipal aid from the state of New Jersey.
But what is the long-term plan? Because if you're running deficits, ex transitional aid, you seem to have deficits running every year between 12 and basically 15%.
Right.
So if you're not increasing taxes on Union City residents, basically the burden falls on residents of the rest of the state, and particularly in the county.
Sir, obviously you've been misguided. Taxes have increased in Union City, unfortunately. They haven't. They have increased over the years. I don't know what the percentage was per year, but they have increased.
But what's the long-term goal? That if you keep on running deficits?
What I just explained, what we're trying to do with the payroll, and what we're trying to do in other areas, cuts wherever we possibly can. There may come a point that we may never be able to get off aid in Union City.
Now, my follow-up question is that when I pull documents
this is the poorest community in Hudson County per capita income.
But when I get documents from the people in Trenton, transitional aid is something that has to be phased out over a couple of years. And other towns and other cities basically get maybe 1 or 2 years of transitional aid, and that's it. So if you're running 3 years ongoing of transitional aid, and there seems to be very little of a decline in the amount of transitional aid getting, so that it's representing between 12 and 15% of the total annual budget, there's got to be a long-term plan. Otherwise, that burden is just semi-permanent, and it's going to run on and affect residents of the county and basically everyone in the state. So I'm asking, there's got to be a long-term plan.
Believe me, I agree with you. We're tired of paying the burden of high-rises getting approved in North Bergen and luxury housing with 40 and 30-year tax abatements, so we well understand all that. If the state of New Jersey wasn't comfortable in giving us aid, they wouldn't give it to us if they didn't feel we were doing the right thing at it. I hope I answered your question, sir.
Okay,
thank you for your interest in Union City. Anyone else wishing to comment at this time? See, Gary, what you did? You went to a North Bergen meeting, then I got the North Bergen residents coming to a Union City meeting.
Gary Pollock, at large. I like it large.
I'm a completely private citizen. I've never been on any public payroll. I don't get any money from any state agency. And I have to tell you, Mr. Stack, it's one thing for a private citizen to bring me in and just make comments about me, but Mr. Stack, I've never seen you in person before tonight, but as a New Jersey resident, I highly resent basically you're way out of order.
Okay.
As a
You know
private
what?
citizen,
You know what, I allowed it,
I
Eric.
resent
Eric,
it.
I allowed it. That's the end of it now.
Okay.
Thank you for
I
coming. You're
think
welcome to come to all the meetings and bring all your friends and everybody else to the meetings. But you're not gonna come here, you're not gonna waste Union City taxpayers' time.
Excuse me.
Listen.
Excuse me.
Eric, you're out of line.
This is highly
You're
rude.
out of line.
This is
You're out of
highly
line.
rude, sir.
Listen, go to a North Bergen
Sir.
meeting and complain to North Bergen,
Sir.
okay?
You have a mayor making $309,000 a year. Go and complain to him, okay? I'm a taxpayer.
Okay, thank you, Eric.
This is intimidating. That if I sit in the back and I ask one question,
You're
all of a
allowed
sudden
to
I'm
come
getting
on,
snide remarks.
Eric, you can ask, Eric, you're invited to every meeting.
If
You can
I
come
have
and
an
ask
issue
anything you
with
like.
Nick Sacco, that's between Nick Sacco and the people
You're right.
that work for him and me.
You're right.
But that's something that's not within your purview.
We appreciate you coming to the meeting. Thank you very
But Mr.
much.
Sacco, you're being extremely rude.
Thank you very much, Eric.
I deeply resent it.
Thank you you made your point, and that's the end of it. Thank you very much, and you're invited to all the meetings.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening. Anyone else wishing to comment at this time? Maybe we can get Mayor Sacco to come here. We can ask him a couple questions. Seeing no